Ms. Legalista, aka Attorney Sheila here, just doing, I don't know what I want to call this. The momentum is here, getting out the information about I don't want to talk just about the lawsuits related to hair relaxers and straighteners and hair dyes, but I also want to talk about some of the related information. In this video, I want to go back to the actual press release. Let's take a look at that. The press release that really kind of got everybody talking.
Yeah.
This is coming out of the National Institutes of Health, October 17th, 2022. Hair straightening chemicals associated with higher uterine cancer risk. It is the line underneath that I really want you to take and pay a lot of attention to, especially if you are a Black woman. It says here, NIH study finds Black women may be more affected due to higher use. So if you hear me talking about Black women and this a lot, well, this is why. It says women who used chemical hair straightening products were at a higher risk for uterine cancer compared to women who did not report using these products, according to a new study from the National Institutes of Health. The researchers found no associations with uterine cancer for other hair products that the women reported using, including hair dyes, bleach, highlights, or perms. All right. Well, that's a lot right there. Think about if you're a Black woman and part of having a straightening product being placed on your hair meant that once you applied it to your virgin hair, you usually, as the hair growed, had to come back and have it retouched. And for those of you who are not familiar with this product, that means you're just applying it at the base of the hair that's closest to the scalp. And so now, I guess, it's been about a year since this was placed out there. Now we're learning that there have been some associations here with a higher risk for uterine cancer. Now, this is one of the things that I think people are going to spend a lot of time talking about in court. Is this correlation versus causation? Just because it's higher doesn't mean that the product caused it. Well, we will see the attorneys get to argue this out. There was a study that was done. It included over 30,000 US women ages 35 to 74. And it says, let's see, that seeks to identify risk factors for breast cancer and other health conditions. The women were followed for almost 11 years. And during that time, 378 uterine cancer cases were diagnosed. It says the researchers found that women who reported frequent use of hair straightening products, defined as more than 4 times in the previous year, were more than twice as likely to go on to develop uterine cancer compared to those who did not. Now, what did I just say about having to retouch the new growth? New growth coming in, hair would be all curly at the root and kind of puffy, and then you'd have all of this straight hair. If this was you, you know what I'm talking about. This is not some sort of foreign conversation for a lot of Black women. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Hair would be puffy at the root, so you know it's time to go back and get a retouch. Well, generally for most women, this might be every 5 to 6 weeks. That means you were definitely doing this more than 4 times any given year, which is what this study was looking at. The study said if you use these products more than 4 times a year, well, then you were more likely to see this increase in incidence here. It says, I'll say it again, defined as more than 4 times in the previous year, were more than twice as likely to go on to develop uterine cancer compared to those who did not use the product. We estimated that 1.64% of women who never used hair straighteners would go on to develop uterine cancer by the age of 70. But for frequent users, that risk goes up to 4.05%. And that's what they say. They actually say here, this doubling rate is concerning. Think about that. You have the head of National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences saying, of the Environment and Cancer Epidemiology Group, I should say that whole title there, that says this doubling rate is concerning. However, it's important to put this in context. uterine cancer is a relatively rare type of cancer, but you've basically just said, okay, so we have a doubling in the rate of something that's rare. Still, that's a lot. Uterine cancer accounts for about 3% of all new cancer cases, but it is the most common cancer of the female reproductive system, with 65,950 estimated new cases in 2022. Studies show that incidence rates of uterine cancer have been rising in the United States, particularly among Black women. Particularly among Black women. So if you hear me keep talking about this, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Approximately 60% of the participants who reported using straighteners in the previous year were self identified Black women. 60% Black women. Although the study did not find the relationship between straightener use and uterine cancer incidence was different by race, the adverse health effects may be greater for Black women due to a higher prevalence of use. Yes, we are trying to touch up those roots every 5 to 6 weeks. That's why we have a higher usage rate. And then if you go back and look at my video that covers the complaint, there is a historical component that they talk about in that complaint. The pressure among Black women to look a certain way, and that their hair needed to be straight in order to be assimilated into what we might consider to be a professional establishment and a professional workplace, so that you could have a professional career and then grow in that career. So there was this outward pressure that was laid out in the complaint. Again, an increased use of straighteners. Well, here's some information why that may be the case. These findings are, so let's go back here. Because Black women use hair straightening or relaxer products more frequently and tend to initiate use at earlier ages than other races and ethnicities, these findings may be even more relevant for them. The findings are consistent with prior studies showing straighteners can increase the risk of hormone-related cancers in women. It says the researchers did not collect information on brands or ingredients in the hair products the women used. However, they noted in the paper that several chemicals have been found in straighteners, such as parabens, bisphenol A, metals, and formaldehyde, could be contributing to the increased uterine cancer risk observed. Chemical exposure from hair product use, especially straighteners, could be more concerning than other personal care products due to the increased absorption through the scalp, which may be exacerbated by burns and lesions caused by straighteners. Now, let's stop and talk about that piece for a second. Again, how many times did remind yourself or whoever, if you were using a box kit, a box relaxer, and you're putting petroleum jelly around the edges, and then you're maybe parting the hair to put base on the scalp so that you don't get burns. And then later on you realize, well, hey, maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe I can just get an oil spray. And people switched over and stopped using petroleum jelly and other products like that and started just spraying their scalps because that was quicker. Who wants to go through and do all of those parts and do all of that? But plenty of women were subjected to burns on their scalps from these products that they were using. And what they're saying now in this study is that then you have this absorption. You've now got this burn on your scalp, which gave the product more of an opportunity to be absorbed into your body. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, if that is the case, why would you continue using that product? I know some of you are asking that. Let's go back here. To our knowledge, this is the first epidemiologic study that examined the relationship between straightener use and uterine cancer. More research is needed to confirm these findings in different populations to determine if hair products contribute to health disparities in uterine cancer and to identify the specific chemicals that may be increasing the risk of cancers in women. So there you have it. This press release that came out of the National Institutes of Health, Monday, October 17, 2022, hair straightening chemicals associated with higher uterine cancer risk. NIH study finds Black women may be more affected due to higher use. and I forgot to turn that back on. So, yeah, now I gotta put all that back in there. But that's pretty much it. Don't forget to continue to follow this as I add in more pieces of information, help to increase our understanding. Go back and look at the original complaint video. I know it's really long. Also, take a look at the complaint template form if you're interested in moving forward with having someone file a complaint on your behalf. You can find an attorney who is licensed in your state by reaching out to your state bar. And why is stuff popping up on my phone? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to share these videos with other Black women who may have questions about this. Peace.